book says your next step is to go ahead and take this rear, the low reverse band apply strut out, the adjuster out, and take this thing out. I don't see where we need to right now because we got plenty of clearance to get that servo out of there. Now, that may be, when we put it back together, we may have to actually take that thing apart. But for right now, I'm not going to mess with it. So, this guy is left in here, and this is a, I believe that's a Sprag, but an overrunning clutch is what that is. So, I believe I'm going to stop here today because that thing looks kind of, got springs in there and rollers. So, I'm going to read up a little bit on this, aside from what's in the book over here about this thing, and because I want to be careful taking this out because this all has to go back together exactly right, and I don't want to lose anything. I don't want to find something in here unexpected. So we're going to pick back up on this. For you guys, it'll be just a second or two. For me, it might be tomorrow. So we will see you then. Okay, one of the next things we had to do was we're going to have to remove these kick down band servo. This is the front servo, and then you got the rear back here, which I've not tackled yet. But this is sort of a pain in the rear to do this one, the front one, because there's no way to pull this out. This is retained. I know we're jumping in a little bit into things here, but I kind of had to fight this, and it's hard for me to have the camera on and do that at the same time. So I'm just going to tell you what I did. This has a pretty stout snap ring here that holds this thing in here where it's supposed to be. And what I did was I took my C-clamp and I came around under here. If you can peek in there, you'll know how to do it when you look at it, but just get it down on here, and you don't have to clamp this thing very far before it comes off that C-clamp, off that circlip. And then what goes on is you have to get this thing pulled out, and it doesn't just drop right out. At least mine didn't. So what I ended up having to do, if you look over here on the side of the transmission, I'll have my light out here, but look on the side of the transmission, there's a port right here. It's got a little plug in it like this, and it's a 7/16. You need to remove that. And then I took my air compressor and pressured it up as high as it'd go and applied air to that port there. That's actually your front servo pressure test port, but I used air pressure and I popped this thing out and wiggled it out. So now then, I'll put that back where it goes. I've already got my circlip out, so we'll see if we can get this pulled out of here in order so you see what's in there. Okay, piston. Oh boy, yeah, look at that. You can see that or not. What is with this camera? Camera looks like it's went dim on me. Anyway, I hope you can see that. How black that goop is on there. That is nasty, nasty. And then small spring, large spring, and a piston in there with it. So normally that piston would be, the stem of that piston would be up in that, partially up in that orifice there. And then we got that to encounter. Boy, that's some nasty looking fluid in there. I guess that fluid's kind of captive, so it doesn't circulate very much. But it is black, black. So, okay then. So I'm going to take my picture and I'm going to bag all that up. Now, if you're doing a 727, I can't guarantee that these are going to be in the same order or that you will have all the same springs, but that's what I have in this 904. So, I'm going to bag those and continue on to the rear servo. See you then. Right now I'm just working out this circlip that's holding this low reverse servo piston in place. I've got it compressed a little. It doesn't go far. So I'm just kind of working this thing around best I can to get it out of there. There it comes. And it's kind of, It's gonna be easy to do here because I've got this piece of steel stock in there compressing that, because that piston, the way that piston is designed, it's not got a, it's got a center part, a hole right here, so my hickey there wouldn't work that way. Alright, just carefully let it loose. Try not to, I don't want things to go flying. No, I don't think they are, but anyway, we would rather they not, so I'm going to pull that piece of stock out of there. Carefully remove my... Alright, let's see what we got. We're going to soak this out. Again, we're going to lay them in order. We've got a retainer, a big giant spring under it. And then we've got another piece here with a spring. It's got a seal around it. That's the inner part of it. Flat part goes down, spring part goes up. So there you go. It's your low reverse servo assembly. Isn't that neat? Like I said, it's got a rubber lip seal on it. The lip seal, I guess it's a lip seal. It feels pretty pliable still. And you know, like I said, I may jinx myself, but like I said, so far I've just not, there's more gunk in there, see, but so far I've not seen anything really worn, except I'm going to show you a couple things at least coming up here pretty soon. But you know, just looks like it's been used, but it's clean except for the, you know, as far as no metal being scattered through it. Now that's pretty bad if you found a lot of metal chunks and stuff, but I guess that's what I mean by that. It's not showing any of that, so I'm all good with that. I don't want to see any. So alright, I'm going to bag that picture. I'm going to take my picture, I'm going to bag it, label it, and then, like I said, I don't think I'm going to take these levers out right now. I'm contemplating if I'm going to go ahead and remove this Sprag assembly. I don't like that, but I guess I may have to, because I think about it. So anyway, one real quick thing. Now, you hear talk about this is your apply lever for your kick down band, and I'm going to show you guys here at some point when I get things kind of cleaned up a little bit. I can get my book over here. I'm going to show you the chart as far as what element of this transmission is used in which gear. And you know, like I said, in this transmission it uses a combination of clutch packs and bands to give different gear ratios. So we know for a fact, if you don't know before, and tell you now, that the kick down band in these is locked to give you drive second. Drive second means that it's the levers, the shift levers in drive. So if you hear somebody say drive third, drive second, or drive low, that means that the shift lever's in drive, because sometimes the transmission, it has to do different things to give you like a manual low and a manual second. So, which we're not going to try to confuse you with that, because I end up confusing myself until I read the book thoroughly. But anyway, we'll look at that chart so you know, like for instance, you know when this band's going to be applied, when it's going to be released, when the low reverse band's going to be applied, when it's going to be released, when the rear clutch pack's on, rear clutch pack's off, front clutch pack on, front clutch pack off. So it's really simple. You just, to me it is at least, you know, aside from planetaries and the input and output shaft, you mainly just have two bands which are on or off at different times in different gears, and you got two clutch packs which are on or off in different gears, and a combination thereof. So we will study that so you at least have a rudimentary idea of why these things are here, what they do, and why they need to be adjusted. So but we're going to cover that, and I think for now I'm going to go ahead and get going on this. I might just go ahead and pull out those Sprag pieces, get it over with. like a puzzle to me, but well, I guess we'll have to do it because this transmission, I think I'm considering what I'm considering doing is I think I will take this transmission case and have it hot tanked. So, and I'm not, if I do that, I'm not taking it to a transmission shop because there's no way, because you know what stands the reason that could happen on a transmission shop. I'm not saying they would, but you know what could happen. Somebody brings a transmission case in, and if they're unethical, they'll think, well, haha, we'll just do this to this transmission case and the thing will never work, and then he'll bring it to us to have us fix it. Like, hell no. So I'm not taking it to a place that works on transmissions. I will take it, if I do that, if I don't just clean it up here at home, I'll take it to a machine shop, independent machine shop, that they work on engines and stuff, but they can tank that thing. Now I got to make sure you can even do that on an aluminum transmission case. Like I said, don't take my word for the gospel. I'll let you know when I do it whether you need to do it or not. So I'll see you then. In the meantime, if there's anything to show you about this, continuing on from this, about the disassembly, I'll include it, but for now I think that is going to mostly wrap this up on the disassembly. Thanks for watching this part of this, and we'll get going more in just a bit. See ya. Okay, last thing, we can go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and get these elements of the Sprag out. If you can see in there, I've got them over. Sorry about that. There's your rollers, there's your springs. Let's pull them out. Use my magnet. Pull the roller out carefully. Try to keep the spring from flying away if you can. Take this thing out. It's not easy to do one-handed. So, and then I'm just coming back in and trying to keep my magnet off things. Get in there. Just pulling this little funky looking spring out of each one of them. And I don't know, for some reason I was kind of paranoid about being able to get it back together, but if you look in here, I'm going to put you in the end here. If you look in here, I'm going to take my pointer and show you. There's keepers right here made into this thing. Hope you're seeing this. Okay, but anyway, you got keepers. So just remember that there's a scalped part right here. See how it's wide right here and it kind of thins down. So for every one of these little keeper things, you're going to have, first thing is going to be your spring on this side against the keeper, and then you're going to have the roller. So keeper, roller, keeper, roller, keeper, roller, keeper, roller, or keeper, spring, roller, keeper, spring, roller, keeper, spring, roller. So make your best of what I just told you. I don't know. I think I mixed myself up, but anyway, keeper, spring, roller going counterclockwise. Keeper, spring, roller, keeper, spring, roller. So there you go. Okay, professional, not claiming this to be, so bear with me. So I get those out, and I guess I will need to go ahead and remove this governor support back here. Cut those look like they are. Let's see what they are real quick. They are going to be, let's see, nope. One half it is, gentlemen. So take those out. Store that thing away somewhere, and then, like I said, you can remove these band levers if you want to, but I don't see a need in it because they're just big old pieces of metal, and shouldn't be no problem. I'm going to finish taking out those springs and rollers out of the overrunning clutch, the Sprag. It's called either one of those names, and I'm going to call this done as far as disassembly. Oh, and by the way, if you ever do a search for a Sprag on one of these, or an overrun clutch, get on the internet, do a search, you're going to find out that there's very little information about this thing as far as how to take it, what you do about taking it apart or anything like that. Everything is concerned with these things blowing up, because essentially what this does, it's sort of a kind of a safety valve for the transmission. I know that sounds funny in an automatic transmission, but if something back here behind the transmission, like drive shaft rear end, ever broke, and the engine and subsequently the transmission over rev pretty bad, this kind of supposed to save it a little bit. But what's normally they found to happen is that this thing will self-destruct, and sometimes it'll run that race right there out of it'll spin it out of the case and ruin the case. So they sell what's called a bolt-in Sprag, and I don't think we're gonna need that for this application, because that little 318 out there, I don't think it ever even rev up high enough to blow the transmission up. So I think that's mainly a big deal on like really built cars, race cars, drag cars, stuff like that. So okay then, well, let me get that done, bagged and tagged, and we're gonna begin, when I start filming again, we're gonna be looking at different parts and pieces of this transmission to see what's worn, what's not. So stay tuned. See ya. Okay, just real quick, add to that, just went ahead and removed this gunner support, and it's a press fit in the case. You take the 4 bolts out, they're 1/2-inch bolts, and then you're going to come around, you can get on this thing, it's going to be in here, you're just going to tap it straight back out, right through that hole right there. Just tap it out with your mallet. That's it, you're done, it's out. See ya.